Hello, friends. I don't think we need to say anymore. We know why we're here to discuss day one of the Masters. Would have liked to give it a little preview, but we'll just kind of carry you into the weekend and let you know what's going on.
Welcome back, Benny. It's been way too long.
I know, yeah, it's been a while.
Hopefully, our followers are just tingling with anticipation.
Yeah, I bet you they're really upset.
Carson's on the edge of his seat.
He was. He texted me. He's like, "You guys are." He took a private jet to Augusta, and he is there today and tomorrow. I think
Shut up. With who?
some member from Aronimink.
Wow, that's the life.
Yeah.
All right, so let's recap day one with obviously the most important storyline, El Tigre. Did you get to watch any of his action today, or do you want me to recap what I saw on the course?
Is that the most important storyline?
Yeah. Are you serious? What else would be?
The fact that Spieth is 8 deep right now. Anyway,
That's number two.
I got to watch some Tiger. I had to follow like the front nine on the Golf Channel Tiger Tracker, and then I got to watch pretty much the back nine. It was weird watching it on the tracker, just seeing like he hit it in the opposite fairway one hole, then shanked a fairway wood, and then he was like birdie bogey. It seemed it seemed encouraging because especially post round for him, I feel like he'll be like, wow, I actually played bad and still finished pretty good, and I think that'll give him some confidence for tomorrow.
It didn't seem like plus one. And I think it's warped because Spieth, like you said, just killed everybody in the field with that under. So it set realistic expectations for what was a good score. I know there's a bunch of guys at five, but even Rory said after the round, like, anything under par was a good score today, especially
Yeah.
for the afternoon guys playing in the wind. But I watched, probably 80% of his shots, and I didn't see a 73. Like, his short game was exceptional. He didn't make any long putts. He really struggled with the speed. Everybody was saying that the speed of the greens was about 6 inches to a foot shorter than it normally is because I guess it was a little bit of rain this week, and he left like 2 or 3 putts right in the heart. So I'm encouraged. I don't think he's going to win as much as I would love him to, but I think he's going to hopefully shoot about 200 tomorrow, make the cut, and feature on the weekend. Top 25, something like that. Which is sad that that's what it's come to, but that's what he is right now.
Yeah, but imagine, like you said, didn't feel like he shot one over, but say he didn't three putt the first hole, and then say he didn't hit his drive like as he described it, an asshole on 15, and he made birdie there. That's one under.
Yeah, he was a little loose, but not like it wasn't to the point where it was like last year or 2 years ago, where every time he took the big stick out, you're like, oh god, where's this one going? You
Yeah.
know. He did pipe some on some tough driving holes, like 14 and 17. He piped
Yeah.
them both, um, but he didn't take advantage of the par fives like he should have. I mean, he birdied 13, but that opening bogey kind of just set the tone for me. I was like, ugh, I hate when he does that. It's so frustrating.
They're like right side, miss green, three putt, and I was like, oh come on.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's probably where he'll end up for the week. Spieth, the kid's unbelievable. I think it was was it 31 straight rounds under par?
Uh,
Like he,
no, it's 17 rounds under par straight, but he's minus 31, I think, in those rounds maybe.
okay. Regardless,
I just
he's
saw that.
just yeah, he's on an insane tear right now, and even rooting against him somewhat. I was like, oh my god, this kid's gonna horseshoe up his ass. Like he kept getting all these bounces and stuff, and even he said so
Yeah.
after the round. But you just can't hate. I mean, some of the shots that he hit, and I think Ernie Els really described it well in his post game because Rinaldi asked him about it, and that he said he doesn't do anything exceptional. Like he's a really good putter, obviously, but he's just so solid. He never puts himself in bad positions, and when he does, he gets out of it. He's just solid.
Yeah, and I think he'll probably shoot 3 under tomorrow, but he's not gonna shoot another 64. But if he shoots 500 tomorrow, this thing could get ugly.
I don't see it. I don't think he's shown the ability to close, yet. I think he has struggled a little bit with that. So I think he will play well tomorrow. Like you said, 2 to 3 under. I don't think he's going to run away with it. I do think he has a very good shot of winning, but I think we are going to see a little bit of rough patches. I mean, we see this every time the Masters and really every tournament, right? The guy who gets off to the hot start, like Bill Haas had a hot start last year at the Masters, right? I don't even know what place he came in. These guys, something in the last 30 years, only one guy who's led after the first round has won. So the guy I really like is Jason Day.
Yeah,
I think he's going to win.
Guy going in for a while. But I'll say two things about the Spieth thing. One, like you were saying, the hot guy, the low round, usually drops back. Where can I bet everything I own that Charlie Hoffman shoots over par tomorrow? And
hopefully, go ahead.
And two is that like usually it is like a Bill Haas or Charlie Hoffman has the low round and drops back. Like Jordan Spieth's the hottest player in the world right now. And I think he took a lot away. Like you see a lot of first-time major almost winners from last year's Masters that he had the lead in, and like he's been talking about just being more patient. I don't think he's going to run away with it either. But I'm just saying, if by some chance he shoots 500 or 600 tomorrow, like things could get out of hand after that.
It's one of those things where, like Tiger back in his prime and Rory when he was on his hot run, where you just never bet against him. You know, like you think, oh, he shot 800 today, he'll shoot maybe 1 over tomorrow, and he won't. He's at that level where you never want to bet against him. So I don't know, but like I was saying, I think J Day, I mean, the kid's a stud, and I think with the Masters, it's so key. Like we saw with Adam Scott a whole bunch, that you have to be in that position, right? You have to be in that position a bunch of times down the stretch where you're close and you haven't closed. And Spieth had that rep last year, but J Day has had, I don't even know how many times he's been in the top 5 coming down the stretch, you know? So I think he's at the place, like if you look at a guy's career arc where they would win their major. He won a Torrey this year. He's featured in this tournament before. He's swinging great. You know he can putt well. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
You know he loves the course. I was reading last year, like he was just hurt, and he still finished top 20, and he was really happy with that. And then I think that's why people were worried going into this about him a little. Like he hasn't played in quite some time going into this, but I think he was just resting up, getting his reps in, making sure he didn't have any elbow. I think it was elbow or wrist with him, so I think he was just thumb. Oh yeah. So I think he has got a good chance too. I really like him. I want to see a first-time Masters winner. I don't want to see. I don't want Rory either, but I'd like to see some young blood get in there and get their first green jacket. It'd be pretty cool.
Over under 3.5 replays of wide left on 10 from Rory.
Oh my God!
Hopefully over.
I played Tiger Woods the other day, as I was telling you, just to like get into it, and I'm on 10, and I immediately take my cursor and drag it way left, and I was like, holy shit! Like, how did you even get it there? Yeah.
Oh God. I don't know. I think everyone's still in the mix. And the other thing we haven't seen is I saw that there's a little bit of weather anticipated for the weekend, and obviously that throws a wrench into things. So from watching these tournaments as much as you and I have, we both know not to take too much out of the first round. Yeah. So I think anybody who's 1 under or better is still in the mix. Justin Rose, he's got a good shot too. I just like those guys that are solid all around, which is another good case for Spieth. But I don't think Ernie's going to continue. I don't see that happening. Who else is up there? So Hoffman, we both think is way gone. That's fine.
I just think he'll shoot like 1 over tomorrow, and then he'll stay at maybe he'll top 30, top 25, which would be good for him. But if he puts up another 5 under, I mean, I'll be shocked.
Who else is in that group?
I like Russell Henley. I like his game. He's from Georgia and he plays well at like the Shell Houston, which they say is similar-ish to Augusta. Patrick Reed's still right there at 2 under that a lot of guys are saying. Dustin Johnson's 2 under if Spieth comes back a little. We'll see how tomorrow is. I thought today was awesome. Let's see if tomorrow goes a little different. I mean, it's going to be a great weekend.
I like Henley too. The only thing that scares me about him is he's so aggressive, and I don't think he's learned yet when to dial it down. that
Yeah.
I could see him being in a really good position on like Saturday afternoon, getting to 13 and just like trying to go for it, hitting it in the creek, making a 7 and throwing yourself out of it. You know?
I made another nice pick with Ryan Palmer,
He's good. He's always solid.
the Texan. Yeah. He's playing nice today. He's 4 under through 8. I think. I thought he might get a little lower than he did, but he made a few interesting bogeys.
Hmm.
Did you see Speed going for it on 15? That was so weird. He had 220 downhill and hit hybrid like over everything.
Yeah, he said he was between a 4 and a hybrid, and he hit hybrid. He was probably trying to hit a high cut, landed in soft, but
Yeah, that
I don't
was.
know. He cooked it.
I would say so. Yeah.
So we'll see. My biggest takeaway of the day, besides the fact that Spieth is a bona fide superstar, is that Tiger's chipping was so good. Obviously, I was so concerned about that. He was kind of back to his old self with that. I mean, he hit that shot on 11 into the water, and then he got up and down for par. He stuck it to like a 2 feet.
Well, right.
12, my bad, yeah. So, I don't know. There's signs to be encouraged there. We've been waiting a long time. I don't know when it's finally going to come, if it ever comes, but it seems like we're going to have to wait another one.
I said last night I was talking to B. Hayes, and I said I think he'll get 2 more majors, and he's like, I think he'll get 4. And I was like, I like it. I wish. He'll teach it like hijack, but not passing. Like I'll take 2.
Would that be the biggest blue balls of all time if he tied Jack? Like all we've ever talked about is beating him, and he doesn't come up short. He doesn't beat him. He just ties him. That would be the worst.
I wouldn't care because it's like he ties him, and then he has like all these other 6 scoring records, and PJ Tour wins at stats. It's like he's better.
I mean, I already think he's better, but whatever.
I do too. Oh, I was gonna ask you this: would you trade this year's Patriots Super Bowl victory for Tiger to win the next 5 majors?
No. Not like I wouldn't trade anything for this year's Super Bowl. I needed that more than anything I've ever needed anything in my life.
Say it was just a regular season and there was no Deflategate. Not everyone was like all over the place.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I sleep in this hat. I haven't taken it off. I'm just obsessed. So I wouldn't trade anything. I love you, Tiger, but not as much as I love the Pats.
Yeah.
So, who else do you like going into the weekend?
Spieth, obviously, Day, I think, has the best chance to catch him. Rory's odds are still like, they had the updated odds, and his are still like the 3rd or 4th highest. Like,
What's he, 7 back?
You know, like you didn't like Spieth for like kind of a dumb reason, and I don't really like Rory for kind of a dumb reason. Like I want to like him, but like I don't know. I'm so happy when he plays bad. It's more that he's like a threat to win all these majors. But like I tweeted today, and I thought I would get a lot more love. Like I wish I loved anything as much as Rory loves white pants and the color neon. Like now he has to wear neon every fucking day. Like relax.
That's not him. That's Nike promoting the driver.
No, I don't. Well, you're probably right. Like all those guys are wearing neon today. Well, like when you go to a golf store and you see the Nike section, it's like all the Rory, this cut and like the style of shirts he wears. Like everything's neon. His whole scripting is all neon for the week. And like, dude, you can wear other colored pants. That's not Nike. He just like jerks off to white pants.
He does. Speaking of which, I've never wanted anybody to switch apparel sponsorship more than Jason Day and Adidas. I know you're like on the little Adidas kick right now, but come on, give me something else. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not as bad as Justin Rose and Ashworth, but it's just so played out. It's like, come on.
Can Justin Rose throw on a pair of decent golf shoes for me? Dude, you can't wear the sneakers every time, and I don't know how he does it. Like, they don't get a good grip, those sneakers, really. And oh, my God.
How about Tiger spitting in my face, dropping 200 on his new kicks, and then he goes back to the 11s?
Oh,
really, bro?
I almost brought that up. And I got another.
Heartbreaking.
So, obviously, did the the picks pool, and Johnny was texting me his picks, and he's like, I wanted to go with Jim Furyk, but I just didn't want to see him have a 3-shot lead and shoot 78 on Sunday. And then I was like, yeah, Ryan Walsh was right below my name in my list, and he picked Jim Furyk, and I cut and pasted his name somewhere else because I didn't want it near my name.
You didn't want any of that osmosis, that bad osmosis?
No, I couldn't have it.
I saw a funny tweet today where it was like, Jim Furyk has shockingly parred the first 9 holes. It's like, yeah, that's about right. He's the worst.
The best tweet I saw today that I actually said like, oh shit, out loud, is one of those same golf writer guys that tweeted that same thing, and he said Spieth just made another birdie, and Tom Watson just benched him for the second round. I was like, oh no, that's cold.
It's brutal. Oh man. It's gonna be an exciting weekend. I would love to see Spieth and Day in the final group just trading shots. That would be the best, you know?
Yeah, come down to a good Sunday. Take that right into Game of Thrones. It's gonna be one of the best Sundays of all time.
You got Mad Men on Sunday too, right?
No, I'm never got into that.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it'll be a good Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you was one of those golf writers also was throwing out all these prop bets, and it was the biggest layup I've ever seen in the history of Vegas. Tiger Woods to miss the first fairway was plus 115.
Yeah.
He never hits the first fairway in any tournament ever.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I saw it too. The last thing
So,
oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Are you going to talk about Tiger?
Yep.
We were tweeting about Brandel Chambly a little bit, and I was just watching the post game in the other room, and Chambly, he goes, "You're saying he's the mayor of Hot Take City, or at least I was." He's like, these guys are athletes. He's like making them seem like really good athletes. It's like they can do anything. If you tell Dustin Johnson to throw a ball, he can throw a ball. Like if you tell Tiger Woods to do anything, he can do anything. He's like, they're athletes. It's like, yeah, Kevin Stadler, he's an athlete.
I'll never forget. You obviously know how much I love Jason Day, but one of the announcers in like a tournament a year or two ago, because he's strong, right? And he's like, oh, he looks like an NFL defensive back. I was like, no, he doesn't. He looks like a place kicker, like a medium place kicker, like not even a jacked ass place kicker.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I think, I've always bought into the whole golf is awesome. Golf is the Masters is a magical place and a magical tournament or whatever. But these guys, man, it gets tough to take after a while. The way they talk about all this stuff. Like I know that's their job. They have to play it up. But it's just so much like they said, like during the Champions Dinner, that Billy Payne gave like a eulogy to the Eisenhower tree. It's like, oh my God, come on, dude.
I think golf coverage is just like kind of bad in general, and especially at the Masters. I think you're going back to the Masters is so. I feel like it's a great, like really friendly place, but the board and who controls it's so stuffy, and like you can't have TV coverage till 3. Can't do anything, and it's just like they want that. They like run the world. They're like the Illuminati of golf. Like they control everything. And it's like, you don't have to be so serious every freaking thing.
I would say not only they're the Illuminati that runs the world, and golf is just a side hobby for them. And speaking of which, this brings me to probably my biggest pet peeve of the entire week, which is I am not in the minority. Okay, 90% of the people who are tuning in are dying to see Tiger Woods, right? Dying. Yeah. You have this great Masters app that you've created, which has featured groups on it, okay?
Yeah.
He's in the featured group today when 16 of his holes are on TV. Tomorrow, when none of his round is on TV, he's not in the featured group. So literally, no one outside of Augusta, Georgia, can watch Tiger play on Friday? Nobody.
Let me talk about this first. That's stupid that he's not won tomorrow, especially since he tees off in the morning. Today, he was a featured group. First was like, he's not going off till 2 basically, so whatever. They have 2 groups before. Then Tiger is on the second hole. Bubba's group is done. They go to Zach Johnson and Jim Furyk. Even their relatives would rather watch Tiger Woods play. And then the second featured group finishes, I forget who it was, like a Dustin Johnson maybe, I think. They go to Angel Cabrera and some amateur. It's like, dude, put Tiger into that.
It's all anybody cares about. It's all 90% of the people care about, It's all Jason Whitlock cares about. We know that.
I think that Masters does that on purpose to have people bitch about it, or maybe they don't have the server space, and if they put Tiger on there, it would crash. But every year we complain about the feature group and how bad it is.
I don't think it's the server. May be a good point. I don't know too much about that, but I think it's they're like Belichick, right? They never want anybody to be bigger than the tournament, and them putting Tiger on the featured group is acknowledging that that's the reason why people want to watch, as opposed to people just want to watch the Masters, and they're trying to keep that in check, which is bullshit.
And don't call it the featured group. Call it something.
The group nobody cares about.
Yeah, group 1, group 2, whatever.
What do you think about? Did you see Jeff Van Gundy's thing the other day, where he said something about Augusta National and black people and misogyny?
I didn't think it was as bad. I thought when I read the link that he was gonna be ripping somebody, but I didn't think it was that bad.
All I gotta say is this: I know we just talked about how much we hate that they control everything, but the reality is they're a private club. They can do whatever the hell they want. What is it like? And you see all these hot take guys on Twitter who are just yeah, Jeff Van Gundy told them. Jeff Van Gundy's my new favorite guy. He brought up the misogyny and whatever. It's you know what? Let them do what they want to do. And also, they do have female members now. And they do have Condoleezza Rice. And they do have that. And it's it's so frustrating. Why do they have to let everybody in? Why can't they choose exactly who they want and who they don't want?
Yeah. Let me say this. It hasn't come up yet, but I've made a note, made a goal to be not politically correct whenever my opinions allow it. Not intentionally, but I hate the way this is going, where you owe everyone an apology. You can't say this. You might offend somebody backhandedly by accident if you say that. And that's what I like about golf and those good golf courses. There's some course, I think it might be Michael Jordan's course down there where Keegan is, and they didn't allow female members, and they had a female male lady, and they put the mailbox and took it out of the clubhouse to the end of the road, outside the property. That is so baller. I can't even explain it.
The misogyny hour with Ben and Bones. It's true, though. I agree.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little Patriots?
Yeah, sure.
Stephen Ridley, my boy, my love, my brother. You know what? Exactly. I get really pissed though when people are saying, "Oh, you traitor, you're whatever." Same thing with Revis, you're a traitor. They're not traitors, dude. The Pats didn't want him back. They didn't even offer him anything. They're just fine. You want to go talk to the Dolphins? Fine. You want to go talk to the Jets? Fine. That doesn't make him a traitor. He's just trying to get paid. And if you think about it, this guy's a world-class athlete, one of the 30 best running backs in the most profitable sports league in the entire world. And the reality is he probably only has an earning potential of, $10 million? And that's pretty low. I know it sounds like a high number, but that's pretty low given his talent. He has to maximize that. So as much as I hate it, I really don't and I know you see the worst of people when you look on social media and he did an Instagram thing with thanks the fans, thank the organization, and all of them were fuck you, you fucking trade. It's how stupid are you? He didn't trade. The Patriots didn't even offer him a contract.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's I don't know if you remember, at the beginning of last season, I was kind of upset with the Patriots' moves, and them never going big in the draft, and like it obviously all worked out and they did fine. Well, like it's not just really; it's like the big picture. This is why it pisses me off. Kind of can't complain about winning, but like I like the flashy player and stuff like that, and it just sucks. Like, does Bob Kraft think he's immortal? Does he think Tom Brady is immortal? He might be. But like they're not gonna be around forever. Like you have this great team. You have two awesome cornerbacks. Vereen, like you just won the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't be that hard to keep everyone in place. But they're like, nope, this is our number. You got to go. Like keep Revis, let Browner go. He had pass interference every other play. Keep Vereen though. Maybe he's replaceable. He's just like a good, receiving back. But I just feel like they got there, and then Brady's got maybe 2, 3 more good years left, and we just break the team down, and they'll make the playoffs. But I don't think they'll be a favorite this year.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but here are my counterpoints. One, totally agree. Browner, I don't give a shit about. He can go wherever he wants to go. He was not even that good. Two, Revis, I think no matter whatever they offered, the Jets were going to up the ante. They were just in it to win it. Like, they weren't going to lose. They had 10 times the cap space that we did. Vereen, I just think that they have shown that they're never going to invest in a running back. Like, I'm dying for them to draft Todd Gurley. Nothing would make me happier, and there's a 0.0% chance that happens. They don't give a shit about running backs. You know how much LeGarrette Blount makes? $750K, league minimum. Okay, that's why they love him. They don't care. They don't care. And we went through the same thing with Brandon Spikes. You and I both love this exact same type of players. And to be honest with you, we're probably rooting for the wrong team. We should be Cowboys fans, With Goody and Romo.
I know, but it's like the same thing.
You can't argue with it.
Sorry, what?
I was just going to say, but like you said, you can't really argue with it. It works.
I know, it's the same thing. Like you said, we won't get Gurley. It's like, being a Patriots fan, for if it sucks for one day, it's for the draft. Like, what is the point in having all these picks if you're just going to trade them down every single time? Like, just one time for me, use all of our first and all of our second, and just see what happens.
Well, they did move up to get Chandler Jones, and they moved up again to get Dante Hightower, which was like the best day of my life.
And they traded down 15 times and passed Des Bryant every single one of them.
They knew about the video.
Yeah, the video.
It's first world problems, baby. That's what we got to worry about. Our team is great. They're super successful, but they don't get the sick guys that we like.
No, I love people that aren't Patriots fans giving me shit at work about the AFC East and how tough it's getting. They're like, oh, they got LaShawn McCoy, the Bills, and who did the Dolphins get? Ndamukong Suh. They were like, oh, the Patriots, AFC East this year. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
How many years have we heard that?
A lot, but I bet you the Jets get one from the Patriots this year. They just always play them close. We even almost lost to them last year. But the Bills, they might win the division. Feel free to, when the Bills win the division, feel free to just loop this video and make it all you want. I'm not scared about it.
Who's their quarterback again? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm honestly asking. Is it Matt Castle?
Yes. Matt Castle and EJ Manuel have a
Gino, Tannehill.
Gino and Ryan Fitzpatrick are the competition on the Jets. Is Fitzpatrick on the Jets now?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I'm afraid of that guy.
I mean, they're just like your little brothers, dude. Just annoying.
Yeah.
Making a whole bunch of noise. Not going to do anything. Anyway, what else you want to talk about?
This will kind of brings it back to golf because you were saying about looking at Twitter replies and how bad they get.
Yeah.
I know I talk about the no laying up guys on here a lot, but they kind of had a back and forth with Ravel lately. Have you seen that?
No.
Because they're all about the purity of just a good golf tournament. They even hate how it's telecasted now, and Ravel just like knows shit about golf. Who's the next great young player? It's like Rory, Spieth, or Bubba. They're like, Bubba's 34, dude. Anyway, so they'll, every tournament he'll say something and they'll just kind of chip back and forth. And today he goes, "Oh, there's this great new thing by IBM. It's like the shot tracker at the Masters." And they respond back like they have that for every single tournament. And he goes, "Well, why have I gotten 100 retweets in 15 minutes?" They go, "That's 0.03% of your followers, and have you even looked at your replies?" So I click on his Twitter replies, and they're like, "Ravel, you're a fucking idiot. They have this every single week. Every single reply is like, Ravel, dude, they have this every tournament."
That's one of my biggest things that I'm most snobby about is people who don't know shit about golf talking about it, because 99% of the time when people don't know what they're talking about, neither do I, so I don't know enough to call them out on it. But I'll never forget Jason Whitlock asking Scott Van Pelt like, British Open are the greens always this hard? Are the fairways always this hard? It's like, come on, don't tweet about Tiger and seem like you're going to have any sort of credibility when you don't even know anything. You don't.
I think it's especially bad for us because we're like, diehard fans, not just playing, but like watching and reading, and like the people we follow on Twitter. It's like nobody has that kind. I don't want to say we're like it's not like a golf hardo, but that kind of insight and just following like the trends and how people are playing. Like you can't just be like, "Oh, this he won a Masters. He'll probably do well this week." Look at Mike Weir shot like 86. That was bad.
I'd take Ben Crenshaw heads up over him any day of the week.
A cool 91.
That's what Crenshaw shot today?
Yes.
He'll come back with the 88 tomorrow, make up for it.
He tripled 18. I know in that exact situation I'd be like, "All right, Ben, just get it in here with an 80. Keep it under 90. Just play it for double bogey or play it for bogey. Come on."
Have you seen the shot of Ben Crane yet? The Ben Crane shot?
I have. That was putrid. And then, so for people that haven't seen it, he on 12 didn't even chunk it. That was the weird thing. He hit it good. It landed like 10 yards short of the creek and bounced in. And then on 13, that pin was diabolical, but he almost four-putted that.
Oh God! I mean also for those who don't know, 12 is 151 yards or whatever. The creek is probably 20 yards. So 10 yards before the creek is a cool 120. Like, not even close.
But I watched it in a GIF, so I couldn't hear the sound and stuff. But I looked closely. He did not chunk the ball. I have no idea what happened. It was really
high in the face, maybe.
First of all, it's Ben Crane. How does he even get in the Masters? Did he win some shitty tournament last year?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Nothing makes me happier than shitty shots like that, and just dying to see they will put a Pro Tracer on it, a la Graham McDowell.
It's the best, yeah.
I wish I had that ability. If Pro Tracer was an app that you could do, that would be sick.
I was saying, I don't know if I've told this to you before, but I didn't even come up with this idea, but we were talking about this, and how great would it be if you and your friends, we all make a good amount of money, and you get like 20 guys, and we just go to a tour stop, and you leave everything in place, and you have all the announcers, and you have the Pro Tracer, and what's his name? Jimmy, I'm blanking on the 63 guy. He always rips everybody apart.
Johnny Miller?
Johnny Miller, yeah, sorry.
The 63 guy. You just his life, dude.
Yeah, I know. And
that's on his tombstone.
He's just ripping your swing apart and stuff, and it's like, that was a terrible quadruple there. I think that would be awesome to record that and then like watch it with all your friends after, just gross Pro Tracers and stuff.
What do you think that would cost? That's like probably the greatest idea I've ever heard.
Well, you'd have to do it obviously for like kind of a crappy tournament. You can't be going to like Augusta or Pebble and have that.
Right.
So
I
you know,
think you just do it at Willowbend. Just get it. Just pay everybody to come to Willowbend.
I mean, that would be so awesome like just to have a few camera angles and one announcer and a pro tracer. Oh, sign me up.
I'm constantly updating my Make a Wish list if it ever get like a terminal disease.
Bro, we're
It
too
used
old
to
for that.
be
I think about that.
no. You can get it at any time. Not to be morbid, but you can
No,
get it
no,
like
no,
I.
no, no. We can get something. You don't get a Make-A-Wish though.
Sure you do. There was a Steelers fan who was a professor who like went to practice for a
Oh,
day, and he was like 45. Yeah. So if any of us or any of our fans out there end up with a terminal disease, look on the bright side. We could have the Willow Bend Invitational.
let's hope that doesn't happen anytime soon.
I mean, silver lining, right?
Yeah, right.
So speaking of which, let's talk about what you would do to change golf coverage to make it better. What elements would you put in there? And I'll start it with one that Bill Simmons said a while ago, which I think is one of the best ones of all time, which is putting a heart rate monitor on every player and having that on the bottom of the screen when it shows their shot, just so you can see the adrenaline, you can see the nerves, you can see where they're at, and you can also see who's calm, cool, and collected. Like Angel Cabrera would probably be like 30 beats per minute the whole time, maybe higher because he's a smoker, just naturally. But
I like that. I got one thing that I read and one thing I just came up with when you were saying that. What I read is it Skynet or Sky something that does the European ones?
yeah,
I guess like they just broadcast the tournament. They do all the leaders. They don't do like if Tiger's playing like crap, they don't show them. And I like that. Like most of this year, the one where Brooks Koepka was playing well, they didn't show him all week, and he like backdoor top 8. And they didn't show it at all. So you got to show the tournament at hand what's happening. And the other thing is just mic up the caddies. Because they hold the boom over and you can kind of catch a little bit of what they're saying if you listen closely, but it would be great to just mic them up and then like do less announcing. Maybe when they're walking down the fairway, you get what they're saying there a little bit, or at least back nine on Sunday. Just listen to what the caddies and the players are saying rather than, oh, he's feeling the pressure here. He's got the nerves.
or have one of the players wear a GoPro. That would be sick.
The player, I don't know if they would do it during the round, but yeah, I'd be down for that.
You know what I hate? I hate how, and this is how you know you're watching it with somebody who doesn't know shit about golf, who's never watched it before. If after every shot they hit, they're like, "Oh my God, that's going way right." It's like, no, every single camera angle makes the ball look like it's going way right. Like Rory's shot on 10 was going straight. Okay, that's how bad it is. Can we get a camera angle where it actually shows the path so you have an idea? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand how that works either, because they're usually like pretty much right behind them, and most players hit a big fade. So I don't get how it looks like you shank every ball.
Lens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right, what else do you want to see out there?
Uh, I don't know. That's a good question. Thought my mic'd up thing was pretty good.
Mic'd up is great, and I think they did that a little bit for one of the practice rounds, and everybody raved about it because you could hear the back and forth between the caddies and the player, which is awesome.
I would. There's got to be ways to take the announcers out of it a little. I know the TV network would never go for that, but just more like in the huddle type stuff. Like you're with them, you're kind of experiencing the players' perspective and point of view. I guess that's like the caddy mic up and the GoPro. You're kind of seeing what's down there, and maybe I don't know. It's just they make it just seem so easy when we all know like that's the hardest thing to do. One of the hardest things to do in sports because you're just by yourself pretty much to your thoughts, and you have all this time to walk, and it's all like static. It's not in tennis where you just it's all reaction. You can just think like, oh shit, I have a one-shot lead. You know, if I do this, I'm screwed. If I do that, I'm screwed. So there's got to be ways you can like bring that out more to the casual fan than just the announcer spitting the same spew every week.
So you know how they're changing a whole bunch of things around with the World Match Play this year. It's on the West Coast. It's going to be played in prime time. They're playing at that TPC Harding Park. They're doing a couple things different at a different time period, the end of May.
Yeah,
The idea is that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think there's only one number one seed now. It's like more of a. I don't think it's four things of one. It's like a one through. I might be making that up. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out.
So they made a lot of changes, but one of the changes I've always thought they should make is, and it doesn't have to be for match play, it could be for any random tournament that needs to pump up its viewership. Let's say the Zurich Classic, for instance, right? You know how exciting it is. I know the FedEx Cup is all tricked up and it's kind of weird and it's all this random points or whatever, but there is a lot of drama on Sunday because it's like if he wins, he gets 10 mil and the other guy gets like 3 mil or whatever. You know what it is? So it's like, wow, this is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I've always thought they should have a tournament that's legit winner take all. So if the purse is $7.5 million, you know, you're not gonna get a lot of people who show up, right? Because they'll be like, I'm not wasting my time for a week.
But you do that in like Tiger's Hero Challenge or something, where it's like 30 guys anyway.
You get $7.5 million if you win, and no one else gets a penny.
That would be sick.
This is not hard to figure out. I mean, we could brainstorm for like half hour over a couple beers and make the sickest tournament ever.
I also just thought of this. How about like a two-man event, whether you want to do like best ball, scramble, alternate shot, whatever, and then like the buddies on the tour, maybe they can pick their teams. Maybe you do it by world ranking somehow, or do you just like match them up randomly? Like that would be a cool tournament to watch. Maybe like Friday alternate shot, Saturday best ball, Sunday scramble or whatever. Just have it be a little more gimmicky, and they can just split the money or whatever. Just one of those like October events.
That should be one of the FedEx Cup tournaments. Should be a draft. Show the number one guy should get to draft his team, right? And it's team versus team, and whoever team wins gets the FedEx point, and whatever team doesn't win gets it. That way we'd get prepared for the Ryder Cup because we always suck in the two-man games or whatever. And also you get to see a little drama where it's like, oh shit, Rory passed on Tiger, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta humanize these guys a little bit. It's like I've always said that Big Break has the most potential of any show, and they just make it so lame. It's like, all right, let's break the glass. It's like, oh, let's go play this 304-yard par 4, and if you win, you move on. Like, there's so many more interesting things that you can do, you know?
You know why the big break is lame?
I do. Can I answer it?
Sure.
Tom Abbott.
I knew you were going to say that, but that's the answer I was looking for. They don't get good players. Like, they've been doing it more, but it's all like 5 handicappers. You got to get.
What about your boy Tony Finau? He was on it.
I know, and so was Tommy Two Gloves, but like.
So was Matt Every.
I did not know that. That's awesome, though.
They should make it a legit tour card, not a sponsored class.
Maybe a nationwide tour card, but still, like they should get top-notch college players that are trying to make it, that are playing in Canada or the Hooters tour or whatever. Not these like scrubs. I mean, you don't know any of these people. They don't hit good shots really.
No. I don't know. And they should also get better celebrity guests. Like, I've had enough of random 50th ranked LPGA Tour player trying to beat them in a chipping contest. You know? Can we fork over a few bucks to get Billy Horschel in there? Would that kill you?
Speaking of random LPGA Tour and the not being politically correct, what about Lydia Ko's streak of 29 under par? 29 rounds under par.
I mean, she's a beast.
Couldn't be less impressed.
Why?
Because I was looking at her scores, and some of them that were under par were 72. And that's because they play these courses, and they're like, oh, long par 4, better just make it a par 5 for them. Like, come on. Like, I would love to see the LPGA Tour event at, like, U.S. Open setup. I know they can't hit it as far, and they played Pinehurst last year, but if you put it on the same event, Lydia Ko would shoot 87 at the match.
So she'd beat Crenshaw, barely.
Yeah, because she's a little more down the middle.
A little more length, probably, too. Do you think Jack Nicklaus could beat Lydia Ko?
If he was playing the white tees, like, I mean, their
Same
courses aren't
tees.
long.
Same tees. Lydia Ko versus Jack Nicklaus. Who wins?
I'll take Jack Nicklaus.
Same tees, Kevin Na.
I mean, she's obviously good, but, Lydia Ko. Kevin Na.
He's playing this week, right? I think I saw him on the unknown Asian list.
That guy.
Your boy, Kevin Na.
I only put people that were from.
Where's he from?
Who would you rather be, Kevin Na or Jim Furyk? Looks and game, not money earned.
Jim Furyk, for sure. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Clear enough for you? All right. Yeah. Why niggas look mad? All right. Y'all supposed to be happy on the street. Y'all niggas look like y'all wanted me to stay in jail. Oh, busters. Picture me rolling in my 500 Benz. I got no love for these niggas. There's no need to be friends. They got me under surveillance. I swear somebody.